Hello, John Bloodworth, Gentleman Crafter here with another card sketch challenge. This time it's number 9 and here's the card that I will be making. Don't forget you can download the layout with all the measurements from my website gentlemancrafter.com. Now I've got a range of bits and pieces here including cardstock and paper. The decorative papers come from 2 different paper pads. One is called Gardenia and one is called Forever Free. Both are by first edition. I'm going to start by cropping down my 12 by 12 cardstock to 8 by 6, and this is so that I can make a 6 by 4 card. All of these card sketch challenge videos will be based around that sized card. And don't forget, if you are taking part in this card sketch challenge, I can't even say this today, then I would love to see your results over on my Facebook group dedicated to this particular challenge. I will leave a link below the description in the video, on YouTube, sorry, and of course I will leave a link in the blog post on the website gentlemancrafter.com. Just making sure that the score line is firmly pressed, and now to trim down the layers. I prefer the little mini guillotine for this. Now sometimes I will be cutting full layers which aren't necessarily shown on the layouts, but if it is a full layout then obviously it would be 6 by 4. For the 3 strips I chose a patterned paper, a striped paper, that contained colours that were in the larger background. That's always a good rule of thumb to work with. Just tie your colours together throughout all of the patterns, and then even if it looks a bit busy, it should still work. Okay, now for the central strip. Again, the exact dimensions are given in that layout that you can download and print or save. Okay, that's all the strips cut. What I'm going to do now is actually stamp out the sentiment, because that way I can let it dry while I stick the layers down before I die cut it. I probably chose a rather large acrylic block for this one, but it still worked, so I'm fine. So to stick down the layers, I'm just using the bookbinding glue as ever, as it doesn't warp, needs very little and is quick drying. It's almost like liquid double-sided tape. That's going on the front of the card to cover the entire front. Making sure to line up one corner and 2 edges, that way I know the rest of it should line up too. Now I'm going to pop the 3 strips on as well. Again, the bookbinding glue or quick grab glue if you've got it for this. I'm also going to bring in the gridded ruler so that I can make sure that I line it up correctly. Take your time whenever you're doing layers, especially the first one. That way you've got a bit more control over what happens later on. If the first one goes on wonky, put the rest on wonky, and then it's an intended design feature rather than a complete muck-up. Okay, there's the third strip on. What I'm going to do is also place the horizontal strip down as well. And again, just measuring according to the layout. But if you need to move this around to fit whatever embellishment or sentiment that you're going to be using, please feel free. The layouts are serving suggestions, they are not books of law. Excuse me. Okay, the sentiment I'm going to die cut with a square die. Could of course have just cropped it down with my guillotine. I'm going to hold the die in place with some washi tape. I never really have got the hang of washi tape as a decorative thing, but as a tool, it's bloomin' brilliant. Okay, so there we go. Let's die cut the sentiment. I like the way that it goes off the either side. And then something I didn't show at the start, but I've got an ink pad and a blending sponge, and I'm just inking the edges very gently to make it look less like I've just slapped on some ready-made sentiment and more like I've taken the time to actually create something. Not entirely sure you can pick up just how delicate that shading is, but trust me, it's there. Some sticky fixer foam pads now on the back of that, just to raise it up away from the card and make it more of a feature or focal point. Peeling away the backings from the foam tape, and then on it goes. Again, take your time to position something like this, as it's going to be the main thing that people look at. And then just as a tiny little bit of something extra, a couple of gems, one either side of the sentiment. No need to go crazy. And as you can see, with the exception of the square die, which as I say could have been cut with a guillotine, you've got basically no dies involved. So there we go, there's Card Sketch Challenge number 9. I look forward to seeing your creations, which so far have been amazing by the way. And thank you very much for watching.